Alright, here we go. Couple examples from other countries around the world that have a military like ours that run in a democracy, and we're supposed to be a republic democracy. Is that what they try to say? So that's why the government comes and gets involved, the republic part. Is that what it is? So, anyways, part of that, and you've seen how the military handled people in Egypt whenever the brother Muslimhood, brother Obama's Muslimhood brothers threatened to destroy the pyramids in Gaza. The protests got out of control. People got wild, and they wanted to overthrow their government. Well, Obama, I think that he actually went back and helped them reestablish the same people back into power so that they could eventually learn how to manipulate the system like Obama's doing so that he can use our military against us instead of way be our military is supposed to defend us. The military takes orders from him, but they're not allowed to go against human civilians. It's against the law more than it is than them not listening to the president of America. They can they can deny orders, and that's legal for them if the president or somebody wants them to kill Americans. It's not the truth. So when MacArthur when MacArthur killed um, World War I veterans that were protesting for their GI benefits, their government benefits they were promised. It was against the law because they were all civilians. They were no longer in the military, so MacArthur broke a big, huge law. The president wanted to backtrack out of that one too, that incident whenever they killed our veterans that were just simply protesting on grass. They weren't threatening or anything like that. The only threat coming from them is that they were protesting and the government didn't want to hear them. So they treated them just like they were still dogs in the military. Like when you sign a contract, you're owned by the government. You belong to them. Um, they still believe that these innocent World War I veterans that wanted what they were promised for going to war was about $400 a piece so they could go to college, right? Way back then, that's what the price was. And our president back then sent our military out to go and contain the crowd, is what the order was, basically, I believe, was to contain the crowd. And MacArthur went there and basically shot them all up and ran them all over and cornered them and killed them and made them evacuate the city like a ruthless thug, like a ruthless thug. So know the difference that you still probably maybe see ruthless thugs like that will try to stand in between us and the president, but keep in mind that it's illegal. So if they remember this and we go to court later and we whatever this and that, remember it's a big ass lawsuit, and then you can go back and you can sue them to keep the military, the cops, and all of their state, local, and federal authorities off your back while you go in there and you tell them you want Barack Obama in the White House and want him there present for whenever all these people go there and physically rough him up and make him leave. So Egypt could have done the same thing. They could have went in, physically removed Mubarak or whatever the hell that piece of shit's name is, piece of garbage. And I seen early on before, I believe they might have been trying to show it for Bush. They might have been trying to maybe try to get people to do that to Bush, but I don't think Bush was wrong. This guy here, I'm gonna drink my coffee, all of it, real quick. There's only a little bit left. So, this guy here is something down. I said he Obama gets U.S. protection. He gets Secret Service. He gets the military guard. I mean, it's local and state cops to freaking defend him. And then what he thinks he's clever and funny, and he goes behind doors, behind where we can't see, and he's laughing, and he's like, "Yeah, we got another one. We got another one against the people of America. We went against the people in America again. It's so great." Hey, and here's Obama's thinking, yeah, whenever it all buckles and falls apart, yeah, they'll help him out. The terrorists are gonna help Obama because he's helped them out so much. Gonna give them billions of dollars back. It's all tied up and stuff. He's their friend, you know. He puts them before all of us. That's why he's our president, because he puts them first and us last, and we are sitting here making a video talking about removing his dumb ass out of the White House. So I seen a video. I don't know if they're trying to point who they were trying to point that out. They're just trying to point out in particular that in a democracy like ours, it showed a rough. It wasn't even 1 million people. It was like about maybe 1,000, maybe more. Any of these crowds, these Tea Party crowds that go there, are large enough to just go in there and physically remove him. I'm I'm fed up with him. I'm past time. I don't want to see him make any more moves for the terrorists. I don't want to see him act for legislatively for our enemies anymore, and for dictators, and for pieces of shits like that whatever Chavez guy down in South America. All those peasant pieces of garbage treat their people like shit. Obama is a piece of shit. We want him out of the White House. And I'm going to tell everybody how you do it is the next gathering that you have, and if you want, I'll go there and I'll lead it. I'll lead the charge myself if you want. Just I have to be emailed or something. Somebody has to tell me somehow, has to tell me that they want me to lead the operation. I'd like to see 1 million people go up in there and remove him. But what we want is we're going to order where he thinks he's going to order the military to kill us. We're going to order the military. We're going to give them orders before we do in the process of all of this. And we're going to tell him that we want Barack Hussein Obama present on Pennsylvania Avenue, the White House, when we bum rush in there and we physically grab him, and his Secret Service has to move out of the way too. They have to all get out of the way because it would be legal for them to get involved. It would kind of be. It wouldn't be if they tried to stick up for him. We can arrest them too. And basically, it's up to you. If you want to keep it peaceful, you can keep it peaceful. But I say that you still, in a democracy, have your choice if you want to kill him or what you want to do to him. You want to just let him go after what he did? I'd say probably have him. I'd say 3 things. 3 punishment ways I wanted people to consider killing him. Firing squad, hanging him, impale the guy since he's for so much of this gay stuff, or burn him at the stake, burn him alive, just burn him to a crisp. But we have I think they've taken down the videos that showed how you do this in a democracy, and the military has the people's side. If we're that fed up, and I'm so sure and so positive of it. I'm making this video on how to do it, on how to remove them. So anybody else gets in our way, just treat them accordingly to that. That's the only instruction I have to that. I don't have any hypothetical means of taking care of people. People, I think, on the conservative side, were in the military. A lot of them were So a lot of them are police. Um, it's hard to believe a cop would be a liberal, or even up to this point, be still like, you want to push for more Obama, huh? So he's gonna, when he takes everybody's guns, he's gonna keep your policeman's gun in your holster, right? So you're not gonna be threatened by Obama either, right? So this is a bulletin and attention to every American that has still common brain sense on their head. And remember that whether you believe in God or not, there's a Luciferian um, plot. There's a Luciferian, like the devil, like Satan. He's involved in on this plot against us. And I'll read it to you. I'll read it. It's in Matthew. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's Matthew 24. Now there was it was there's two basic scriptures that I wanted to quote from, but I don't want to quote. I'm gonna read the whole thing up to chapter on chapter 24. I'm gonna read through there to verse 30. I'm gonna read the whole thing now. Okay. Signs of the end of this age. Okay. And it says in Matthew 24, and Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and he and his disciples came to him. They're always asking him questions about the future, for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Very shall I say unto you, there shall not be be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Now, what he's talking about is he's talking about when the earthquakes and everything else happens at the end of times and tribulation. There's going to be a point in time when God gets it's because God is angered, because everybody's so sinful. They anger God at this point, and He trembles. The earth so bad that every rock, no matter how big it is, will move. So shall be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, I would love to go there. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear the wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes and in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. And that's where they set you on your knees and cut your head off, I believe, and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Now, what does that really mean? Then shall, this is Matthew 24, verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations of my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. That right there, he's telling you if you endure what the devil throws at us in the tribulation, we'll be saved at the end. And a lot of this is what it's biblical. People want to act like the Bible is not true and like they got an atheist answer and they want to convince everybody to not be religious. All I can say is that biblically, from a biblical standpoint, as a Christian myself, all of this stuff has happened. Whatever the Bible says, it is gone, just like dominoes, but like the slow one. You can see them all go, one right after another, depending on how much time is in between each one. But Christ is laying it out here, which in let's see, when therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place. He says, therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel. We have to go read that. Daniel, the book of Daniel, right? Stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. It says right here, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to let them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither in the on the Sabbath day, for your flight. Yeah, he's talking about us heading off into the hills whenever all this happened, and all these demons and everything come for everybody. And I mean, you don't see it in the spiritual realm. I believe that there's going to be a time where we will, but we know what sin is and we know what right and wrong is. And even if you're not going by religious compass or say doctrine and wholeheartedly believe it as a Christian, you can still follow it as an atheist or whatever else. Not have to believe religiously, and it's still a moral compass and a guide how to treat other men, how to live in your society, and also the Bible also gives great descriptions and warns people how to deal with deceptive people, deception, and to take things with a grain of salt the way you should. So it's when you read the Bible or you go to the Bible, it's for religious people. It's not for atheists or pagans to come here and try and discredit it and try and knock it and show up and be like, oh yeah, it's time to knock the book. Go find another book or something else to knock. Knock a fart for all I give a rat's butt. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna. I want to just skip all the way to 30, but we're almost there. We're at 20, but pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For so we could write that down too and know that whenever stuff hits the fan, we know that it's not on the Sabbath or in the winter when we'll have to mobilize and go. For then shall be great tribulations, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. To this time. I'll plug this in. Try and get this in on stereo if I can a little bit. beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect are the ones that believe in Christ and who act and do something about it. But we all have to be told that we were lied to about the rapture all along. The rapture doesn't happen until the very end. So, regardless if you want to say that's a fairy tale or whatever you want to say, like I said, the Bible has been right on key with all of its prophecy. So, ask the atheist about that. How is the Bible right on key with all of its prophecy if it's a lie? I don't know how they would answer that, but I'll ask them to myself that question. So we're the elect, and we have to fight until the end. We have to fight weather. We have to fight the terrain, living outside without our houses for the whole entire, well, not the whole entire time, because um, it's only probably half the tribulation that we'll have to endure. We'll see all of these terrible things happen um, halfway into the tribulation, but whenever they come at us with the mark of the beast, won't be until a certain point in time when after the prophets, the two prophets come, and they'll be on YouTube, wherever else, preaching, professing the word of Christ. And then they're killed after 3.5 years. So then you say, shall be, okay, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. Believe it not. Christ doesn't come until the very end, and he doesn't come here in person necessarily. He gathers us all up and leaves us in the clouds. For there shall arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, in so much they put in and so and much in one word, and so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So they will deceive the very elect, it says right there. So if we're not told the right truths, we're going to be lied to, and we're going to fall right into it. Sitting here praying, yeah, well, I'm ready for you, Christ, and he doesn't come. He doesn't come 3 times, he comes a second time. Yep. So for there shall arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall show great signs, show signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. 25, 26. Wherefore, if I shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. So, whatever you're told by people about, oh, Christ is over here, Christ, they're going to say something, this or that, and they're going to try to lie to people and scatter up to get the Christians to chop their heads off if they capture them, because you'll have to take the mark of the beast or they'll kill you. For secret chambers, for as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west. So he's saying that the lightning is so big and bold that you're going to see it basically globally. That's how big the storm, the electric current's going to be in the lightning and the storms that are coming. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So they're going to see it, so it's going to be like a super bright, detailed description, so they'll know the end is coming and coming and coming. The evil, I'm not talking about the elect, I'm talking about the evil people, are going to see it too, and they're going to know, and they're going to probably crap themselves when they see it, because they'll know it will mean doom for them. Okay, where is it? On demand B. Okay, 28. For whosoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. 30. We'll stop at 30. And and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So that's the first lie right there, is that the rapture happens before the tribulation. That's not true. That doesn't happen. It leaves something mystical or mythical or magical to happen at the end without Christ there. So back to how to remove a puke. I told you, all those gatherings and protests that you've had, I would have liked to have seen it. I wish I would have went down there and planted that thought into all their heads. Because really all you need is about, I think you could do it with 100 people, like a legion of people out of the million people crowd, to go in to the White House and evacuate them. And you're going to go to your job or something, you got to go somewhere while you're trying to have a revolution in your country. So what you do is you order that they put Obama in the White House. The next time we have a protest up there, demand that he's there, because otherwise he'll take off, he'll go to golf, or he'll go do this or that, but he's bound by law. You guys need to understand that too. So that's how you be able to get him cornered and go in there and take the sucker out. So that's basically my only thing I wanted to give people insight of the big deception, and what's going on, how to take care of it. And if other people get in your way, I say just take care of them, like I said, according. You either decide to have the cops throw them in jail, or something you could turn it into escalate it from peaceful to not so peaceful in a real freaking hot Washington second. So just keep that in mind. What I said that he doesn't have the right to do everything that he's doing. He's breaking the law. He's going to break the law on immigration, and everything else. So I really need to plant the idea of just removing him out of the White House. Just removing him. Do your own research too and see what I'm saying isn't true. The democracy, our military belongs to us. It takes orders from him because we elected him, but it's actually our military. So they do what we tell them to do. And order this, order it like that. You can't order Obama around. He's not going to listen to nobody. He's not going to reason. He's not going to center like Bill Clinton did. And all that political jive and talk is for another day. I just wanted to plant this seed of overthrowing Obama peacefully, okay, into people's heads. I haven't had one video yet that hit 1 million people or 1 million views, but there you go. That's the first one. I wanted to hit every single American. That's 300 million people in America. And then whatever worldwide watches it too, I want them all to see this video, and we'll see how restrained people are really on media or anywhere else, you know, by the elites and how we eat and breathe and think. It's all dictated to. Don't be dictated to. Stand up and say, hey, you know that you know that Obamacare law and all that other stuff? It doesn't pertain to me because I'm not gonna pay into that. And I'm not your subject. I'm a citizen of my own kind. I'm a citizen of heaven and a citizen of Christianity. So just get that through your mind. And I don't surrender. And I don't back down. I don't give up. I keep fighting. All right.